How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast, where we come together to raise our vibration, lift our perspective, and build a positive mindset. My name is Henry, and I'm so thankful to have each and every one of you here today because in this episode, we're going to talk about how to make hard choices and move forward into a positive life. Make sure to stay tuned to the very end because we're going to do a deep healing meditation to help us align on this message and carry it throughout the day. And if you're listening or watching on Spotify, they had a recent update, and if you leave a comment below, I can actually reply to the comments. That's very exciting. I'm looking forward to just interacting with you all. Again, it's on Spotify only, or of course YouTube, you can do that. But leave a comment and I can reply directly to you. That's new. You couldn't do that before. And this will be the first episode where I have that ability. So if you like the episode, if you find something relative to you or you want to leave a comment, do it, and I'd be happy to communicate with you. So how do you make a hard decision? We're going to take a different perspective on this than probably I've perceived, and hopefully it allows you to see the world, see your experience as something different. So imagine that you, this being like me, Henry, is a frequency. It's an energy. And there's many frequencies that exist, and the experience you have is dictated by the frequency of you, because as you perceive the world, you'll receive the world, but you can't perceive different from your frequency. And then we go through life and we have hard decisions to make: what school to go to, who to hang around, how to save money, how to build this business, how to get into shape, how to do whatever it is that you want to do. We have these hard decisions that are tough to make. And we look at it from a decision point of view, meaning like, I'm Henry and I have to do this thing to get this thing, or I have to climb this thing to get to this area, or I have to, do this thing. Like we see it as Henry or you going through this thing. When you separate the beings, meaning the Henry, the person, the place, or the thing, and just think about it as containers of energy that operates at a frequency, and whatever you interact with, whatever you give your perception to, your focus on, you will match that energy. And so when you think about where you want to go, like who you want to become, what experience you want to have in life, and this could be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 1 year in the future. When you think about that being that you'll be and the things that you'll have, how would that operate? What frequency would that being of you be in? And then when you look at your current life, if you were to bring that being into now and it's operating from that higher frequency because it became this thing, what could it not associate with in your life? What other beings, and this isn't good or bad or tough or hard or easy or light, it's none of that. It's just what patterns of frequency within you, if you're the higher being, if you came into the now, meaning your current life, and looked around at the people, places, and things that you're involved with, which one of those resonates with the frequency you want to become, and which ones of those don't? And so when you look at it that way, it no longer becomes a choice. It just becomes, what pattern do I want? What frequency do I want? Because you cannot be around frequency and not affect you. If you hang around people that are higher frequency and you pay attention to them and you start thinking like them, moving like them, because you're around them, you will become like them. But that's also true on the negative spectrum. If you're around frequencies that are lower than you and you start thinking, acting, and receiving like them, you will become the same. What you pay attention to and what you attach yourself to is very important. That's why your perception is your reception, meaning if you're perceiving it, you will receive it. Now, we're going to perceive things in life, of course, that we don't want to resonate with. But when you get good at limiting the amount of focus you put to that, it gives you more time to focus on the things that you want to expand on. So we're going to take a brief second. Just close your eyes for a second, listen to my voice, and really just start thinking for a second. Think about this higher version of you. Think about the version of you that has done the things, that has cut out the things that didn't suit them, has done more of the things that uplifted them for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. This version of you. Now imagine that version of you coming into your life right now. It's seen everything that you've needed to see. It's done the hard work. It's made the difficult choices. It's, put in the time to become this being. And then it comes into your life right now. You know what would not resonate. You know in your life what things would actually be hostile towards that version of you. People and places and things. Maybe your current job would not like that version of you because that version of you wouldn't tolerate the things that happen in your current job, or your relationship, or your friends, or your schooling, or whatever it is. What energies don't resonate with that? And it's clear that that's a choice you have to make. If you choose to stay focused on the energy, if you choose to stay in that, then you're not becoming the thing that you desire to be. It's not right and it's not wrong. There's no like, oh, you have to be this thing and then you're right. Or if you become this thing, then you're wrong. It's your experience to have. And we don't think about it as like me, Henry experience, and we think about it, okay, what being am I trying to create in this experience that we're having? It changes things. Things become very clear. You know the things that are uplifting you. You know the things that are pulling you down. You are meant to fly. You're meant to gravitate towards something. Think of like a hot air balloon. It's got the fire, it's got the air going up into the balloon, and it starts to lift it. But it's attached to the ground. You see, it's got these ropes that are attached, and it's got these sandbags within that are holding it there. It's holding it in that pattern. It's on the earth. It's all moving together. It's not going up. So you can't push more air into it. You can't make the fire hotter and lift it. You could try, and it might start to lift it, but it's going against all this resistance. But then you look down and you realize, okay, well, this doesn't suit me, and you cut it. You don't have to lift harder when you cut the thing. You become lighter. You're no longer tethered to that energy because you can't focus on it anymore because it's disconnected. And then you cut another, another. So it's not about going harder towards something. It's about removing the things that are making you not the thing. You see, those sandbags are weight. You don't need the weight. You got to let those go. And it's a hard choice. It's a hard choice to cut that because you're going to go up in the air. You're not going to have your reference point of that connection anymore. But you know that you want to go to something. You know that you want to become something. And everything in life is about becoming. It's not a destination. It's just becoming. That's all you'll take with you is your state of being. You're not going to take the things. You're not going to take the titles. You're not going to take how good a shape you got in. You're not going to take how much money you made. You're not going to take how many people knew you. You're not going to take any of that. You're just going to take your state of being. So when you look forward to that future self, understand who you are at that moment. What would you think? What would you say? What would you allow yourself to receive? Meaning how people talk to you, how people treat you, how situations happen, and bring that to now. You can start being your goal self today. See, that's the biggest gift is you don't have to go 10 years to become this person. You can become them now, and they take 10 years as that person through the journey. You don't have to go anywhere to get to that you. Bring that you into now. That's the choice. Like, I'm bringing this you to me now. I'm going to become it, and then I'm going to live the life as that version. Do you know how much fulfillment you'll have in that? How good it feels to know that you can just be the person. Because if you were that person and you were living this life, you achieve those things, whatever it is. You do it, the years go by, you become this person, you're so excited. Well, if you were teleported by some kind of magic black hole and you ended up in a different life, you'd still be you, and your life would eventually turn to look like the life you had because you'd be you. Wherever you go, you will create the experience that you know how to create. Because remember, the world is not as it is. So if you are someone that doesn't know what opportunity looks like, doesn't know how to be positive, doesn't know how to see the silver lining, it doesn't matter how good it gets where you go. It doesn't matter where the universe takes you. You will still have that perception of the world because you didn't change. But when you come this thing, when you level up to this frequency, it doesn't matter where you go because that's what your experience will be. Because if you know how to see silver lining in things, you will always see silver lining. If you know how to see the upside in things, you will always see the upside. If you know how in business to make revenues increase or see opportunities or see levers that you can pull that will change the business, it doesn't matter what business that you look in, it will all look like that to you. If you're a hammer, everything starts looking like a nail. If you're a positive being, everything looks like there's something good from it. So spend time knowing who you want to become. Spend time knowing how that version of you thinks. What that version would allow in their life. What standards would that version have? Pay attention to all of those things. And then bring that version into you now and become it. And so these hard choices that you have to face no longer become hard choices. Doesn't mean it's not going to be difficult. Doesn't mean there's not going to be consequences or costs to making them. But you realize it's no longer a choice. It's just state of being. If I allow this thing in my life, this is my state of being, and I have to be okay with it. It's not about what's fair. It's not about what's easy. It's just about truth. Your frequency is what you are. So the things that no longer suit you, you get to decide. Is that going to be your experience? If so, it will be. If not, it won't. It's not a choice. It's just a state of being. So we're going to do a deep meditation. We're going to breathe in. And when you breathe in, when you take this deep breath, I want you to visualize you in the future, taking the same deep breath. We're going to align with our higher self. So you're in the shape that you want to get in. You have the bank account that you want to have. You have the life, the family, the cars, whatever it is. Like, see all of you that achieved it all. And when you breathe in together with this version of you, become one. And as you hold your breath, allow the mind of that version of you to come into yours, because that mind is a filter. It's a powerful one that's been built over time. Allow it to sink into your head. And so think thoughts like that version of you as we hold our breath. Perceive the world as that version of you as we hold the breath. And then when we exhale, allow the world to filter through your new mind so that when you open your eyes, you see the world as your higher self. You ready? Let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. You're so powerful. If you felt that connection with your higher self, that means you're ready to become it. This is how we find purpose in lives. You see, it's never about the external things. It's always the internal. If you're looking for a path, always look within, because you become the path, and the steps you need to take show up in front of you. This is what we're here to do. Your frequency is what you frequently see. So let's rise up and become the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope this episode was impactful and gave you a different perspective on hard choices. I tried to take a different spin that hopefully you haven't heard before and allow my mind to see things from a different point of view. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link down below. It will keep you up to date with every single episode. And if you want to follow me on social media, there's my Instagram and TikTok down below. I appreciate all the follows there. Again, if you're listening to this on Spotify, they have this new feature where you can comment below, and I know that's always been there, but now I can reply to you. It's very similar to what YouTube is, and there's such a great audience here, so I would love to see people, whether it's ideas for what they would like me to do podcast episodes on, or feedback from these episodes. I would love that I can actually respond now, so I'm really excited to see the comments. Thank you so much for the support. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.